Hey, everyone. Welcome to the DLP Agenda.
We're here, baby.
We're glad to have you. We just recorded a Patreon that, fingers crossed, we don't get in trouble for.
I legitimately was getting uncomfortable.
Yeah, it might be one of the more uncomfortable Patreons. It mostly comes from ignorance.
Ignorance, not
just trying to educate ourselves.
That's all.
Yeah.
We're just trying to figure out. I learned
dumb.
about a new job that I didn't know anything about, and I wanted to explore the possibility that how a job like this could exist or be done by a man.
Yeah.
So
I don't like that I'm not in the middle there.
I'm sorry, buddy. Hold on. We'll have to just scoot your booty over just a little bit.
We'll have to, yeah, I don't.
Did we move around? What did we do?
Yeah, remember we had the other table on here.
Yeah.
Whatever, I'm not worried about
We're
it.
okay for now.
Yeah.
Jared, what's going on? Mac, always good to have you in there.
You know,
Steph?
fuck Mac. Let me tell you what he did.
Oh, shit.
So
Coming in
Mac-
hot.
Yeah. So I made Here's Why You're Wrong last Here's Why You're Wrong public. But it's at a weird time. It's during the day, so
and you don't announce it. You just
we don't announce just on there. Macintosh just starts shitting on me.
Just crapping all over it.
I mean,
It's a free chance for him to just
nonstop, just taking me out. If there's 30 comments, 29 are him just throwing,
you know what?
throwing
Keep doing it, Mac.
haymakers at me.
I'm not going to tell you to stop.
Yeah. Meanwhile, your brother wants us to go to Congressional Golf Course and play on the simulator and then go duck pin bowling.
Okay.
Because it's the nicest golf course in our area. The U.S. Open's been played
Duck
there.
pin bowling.
Well, yeah. They have something in their fucking, I don't know. It's nice. Yeah.
I told you guys, my grandfather on my father's side was a semi-pro duck pin bowler.
Yeah.
Wild.
I think
there were
he
pro
heard
duck pin
about that.
bowlers.
Yeah. Fucking amazing. That guy
So
was
you better
like,
win.
Pins explode. Oh, I'm horrible at it.
Well, we'll talk about that.
God, what I'd say I bowled my highest game like within the past year, so it was like 140 or 150 or something.
I know you get to bowl 3 balls, right? Am I right about
on
that?
duck pin, yeah, you get to bowl 3 balls, but like on large ball, I think I bowled my greatest game in the past 2 years, but it was like 140 or 150.
Now 140 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not great.
Little tip on a first date with a girl in bowling: say, "Hey, let's make it fuck pin bowling."
Hey, wait, do you see what I can do with these 3 outside of this bowling alley? I'm talking about your vagina and butthole. I come home the other day and I can't remember. I think I ran to the gym or something. I get in and Mudge and Evan are sitting in the sitting room. You guys have been to my house. I live on a split level. And when you walk upstairs of the split level, God bless the split level, you get to make a fucking decision every time you're home. There's no just walking in and sitting down. You get to go up or downstairs. Worst designed home ever. So I walk upstairs, I go to the right, and we have a family sitting room, not the living room where the TV is.
It's probably the least used room in the house.
No one uses that room whatsoever. So we go in there, and you could tell something has happened. Evan is in trouble. So Evan, for whatever reason, has gotten into something, and she looks at me and shoots me a bit of a look, and he's looking at me. And now, usually when Evan is in trouble, he's either crying or he's got his face buried in her chest, or the big kids are around like, oh shit, he did something. I've never seen this. He's fighting off laughing. He's fighting off.
So now you're intrigued.
And I'm like, what happened while I was gone? It's like, I heard him listening to something that wasn't cool with. Now, every now and then we got kids with YouTube. I'm the parental YouTube generation where they'll watch like a Mr. Beast video, or they'll watch the Dude Perfect guys or Orioles highlights. But eventually the YouTube algorithm's like, hey, you like that? Watch this. Hey, you like that? Watch this. You like that? And it just somehow spirals down. Well, he's fascinated with Captain Underpants right now. He loves Captain Underpants. There's a cartoon, there's a book, and there's a movie and all this sort of stuff. And I guess he was watching YouTube Captain Underpants, and he just started link jumping. And Rob, he jumped on the link that I sent you and has been apparently singing it out loud at school, at home. Rob, if you would please take it away.
You know, I wipe really hard and my toilet paper's weak. Sometimes I break right through and my fingernail is rubbing up against my poopy butt cheek. And I'm completely unaware of what's going on down there until I pull my finger out of my butt. And I stare at poop in my fingernails, poop in my fingernails.
It's a banger.
Poop in my fingernails, poop in my fingernails, poop in my fingernails.
He loves music.
Can you not interrupt?
When the toilet paper breaks, there's nothing left standing in between poop and your fingernails, and you're never truly gonna get it completely clean. Poop in my
Joe, this is a 12-minute song.
Dude, it goes on.
Hey, let me tell you something. There's never a time in my life from childhood to when I reach Graham's age that I won't laugh at that.
No.
She had
Or
me
be proud. I'll
listen to
always
the
be
song.
proud of a kid who finds that.
The kid that found that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, the sense of pride that washed over me was immense. And I get played the song, and I'm in hysterics downstairs. She's playing the song. She's like, I want you to listen to this. And I think she's expecting a little solidarity, a little we're a team,
Right.
a little what are you doing?
Well, why is he in trouble because he sang it at school?
I think just the fact that he's singing it and he's playing it.
They had karaoke at school. He said,
Yeah.
I got this.
He's like, I got
I
this
want you to guess, and the chat can guess too. Guess how many views this has.
Okay.
Oh God, I can't even
Yes.
imagine. 700,000.
Okay, 700,000 is a guess.
I'll say it's incredible. So
Mhm.
I'll say 1 million.
All right. Why don't we add those up to 1.7 million?
1.7
Yeah.
Yes.
million.
Of
Yeah,
course.
Jared came in with million, Mac 5 million. So yeah,
Mom?
it's done. It's doing well.
Mom leaves. She goes to the grocery store. I play that shit on full blast and the speakers in the living room. I film him. I put it on Instagram. I forget that she's on there. She sees it, comes home, gives me shit.
I thought we were on. I
I thought we were a team.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't.
Yeah.
I do sleep talk audio with a guy that farts in the middle of the night, and I cry.
It's very on brand.
It's exact. This is my progeny.
Yeah.
This is it. This is I can help him with this. We can corral this into something usable.
The Toilet Bowl Cleaners is the name of the group, and
It's all poke-
they said you
Right.
thought we ran out of poop song ideas. You were wrong. So apparently they have a whole catalog.
Oh,
So
really?
good for them.
Can you
God.
try to find some of their other work?
Hey, I'm sure your son will find them just fine.
Damn, did that make me laugh?
Poop
though.
in my fingernails.
Poop in my fingernails. That's going to be on in my car at some point. When him and I drive to or from something, he's
Mhm.
out of jiu-jitsu. He quit. We're going to probably put him in chess club because I want him to get laid. We'll probably be listening to quite
Well,
a
if
bit.
he's listening to that song, he's clearly playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
He's thinking 3 fingers ahead.
Hey, if things happen to work out later in life when he's of age, he'll have poop in his fingernails for a better reason.
Hey, now.
That's what I'm talking about.
A job interview.
Man, wait till you hear the Patreon.
Oh, I feel bad.
God
Disgusting.
damn.
It's we're not.
It's one of the few episodes we've ever been like, you want to re-record that?
Yeah.
Nah, it's too late.
If you'd have pitched that topic beforehand, we might have just said no.
Nah, like hitting you with it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah, that
it
doesn't
did
sound
come
like a
out of
good
nowhere.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not great. Not great.
Anyway, so
No, I'd rather have
just-
cheesy than poopy.
just 3 guys talking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what's going on with the cheesy bread thing? What's the
Okay. All
Okay.
right, okay. So we've mentioned our friend Tim on here before. Tim
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
he is the funniest person that I know that isn't a comic. Is that fair?
Yes.
Yeah. He's,
Also, that has no ability to be funny when like he needs to be. Like,
yes, if you asked him to be funny, he
Right.
couldn't do it.
seizes up?
he has to be in a normal his environment.
He has a great voice. He used to be the show announcer. You know that.
I remember.
He used to be the show announcer.
I remember he came up to the station to record something, and you guys didn't talk for years. After.
Well, things happen.
we play in a poker game, Tim and I, and we've mentioned our friend Jack on here. Jack is in the he's in the real estate world
Mhm.
or the property ownership world or whatever you call it, the land world, whatever you want to call that.
It's in the creating an empire world.
That's
okay.
what he's in.
Mhm.
All right.
So he's invited us to this game, and these are the people that are there. Okay, the people that are in this world.
All right.
And he happened to bring these 2 yahoos that he knows, me and Tim.
Okay.
So I know these people as well as I know your brother.
You are aware of them,
Right.
but you know nothing other than what you've been told.
You don't have any of
well,
their phone numbers.
I
or
don't.
You don't know a single
have-
last name.
I have to relearn their first name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
All that stuff I have to do just to try to kind of
Stay
yeah,
above
right,
water
right.
conversationally with them. You got to do the bit where
Yeah.
you pull them aside every now and then and be like, "What's their names again?"
Now Tim, he plays poker at our friend Gary's house.
You guys have known each other for 30 years.
And we've known more than that.
Mhm.
Yeah. We've known each other since he's known Gary for 45 years.
Jeez,
Maybe more than
okay.
that. And Gary will order Domino's pizza, and with the Domino's pizza, he'll order cheesy bread, and Tim will take the cheesy bread
Okay.
and he'll eat it, the whole thing.
The whole thing.
All of it.
You'll
every,
give
every stick.
On
And
his
he
own.
on
every,
his own.
every stick.
And it just we now know that's going to happen.
He
Okay.
will take it. He'll take the marinara. He'll dip all 8 sticks into that marinara, and he'll eat the entire cheese bread. Nobody gets now. Clearly, a cheesy bread is intended to be shared.
A cheesy bread
Yes.
is an appetizer.
It is
You
an
share
appetizer, right? And when you eat a whole one, it is a meal, but
Is he
never-
also eating pizza?
The whole meal is supposed to be shit.
He probably
Yes.
is. I don't know, but
Yes,
I will
and
tell you
dessert.
this. I'm telling you, I've never in my life had a piece of cheesy bread over there.
Me neither.
Does
Never.
he take the box with him
Yes,
to his corner to
yes,
He
feast
takes
on?
Yes.
the box to the seat where he is, and he eats the entire cheesy bread, and then he takes the box and he throws it on the
I've
table.
never been to Gary's for poker when he hasn't ordered cheesy bread, and I've
Gary orders the
never
cheesy bread.
been to
Yeah.
Gary's and had cheesy bread.
So Gary
Yes.
orders the cheesy bread. Does he order it for Tim?
It probably is just a meal deal.
Yeah.
You order
It
like
comes
you get
with it,
4
like
pieces
the
and
big
a 2
dinner
liter.
box and all that.
exactly.
Yeah.
but he eats it. Okay.
Okay.
Now we're at this new place. There's no Gary there.
Okay.
No,
There's no
40
Joe
year,
there.
45-year friend.
None of that. None of the
Yeah.
people there. The people that, again, as well as I know your brother, that's who's there.
And your guests.
Yeah.
That's right. Tim sits down and grabs the box of cheesy bread. Okay.
Jeez.
He grabs the entire box of cheesy bread and he goes and he sits down. Now, we're actually in this guy's garage. We're not in
All
his
right.
house.
It's a nice garage.
It's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got the
TVs. It's very.
you know how they put those floors in where they're in. I don't know what you call them, but it's almost like they're not.
it's like a car dealership floor.
Yeah, that
It's
kind
almost
of-
like polished
Oh,
cement,
yeah, yeah.
shiny
It's exactly.
cement. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And this guy and there's a table over there filled with pizzas, but not filled with cheesy bread.
Because the cheesy bread has been absconded.
There's only one cheesy bread, and Tim has taken it. Now, what Tim does is he's taken the entire cheesy bread. Now, before I say what happened, I said I made fun of Tim for taking the entire cheesy bread for people he doesn't even know. He goes, "You're a fucking liar. I only took half of them." So I might be wrong. He
That's-
might have only taken what was left.
But he's regularly eaten all the cheesy
Oh,
yeah.
bread. So
But
there's
in this
empirical
case-
evidence
In
this
this
is his
case,
move.
he's eaten half of it was for the other 12 people there,
Yeah.
and the other half he's just taken.
Okay.
And he's taken the box again.
He's taking it with him. This whole thing's coming
So
with
he's
me.
sitting at his seat in the poker table, which is exactly across the table from me, and he sets the cheesy bread on the floor. There's no place to put it. And this guy's dog comes and eats the entire,
Oh,
entire cheese.
So there's no more cheesy bread for anyone.
So not only
So Buster got the cheesy
Yeah.
bread.
not only
Karma.
does
yeah.
not only does he not get the cheesy bread, and no one gets the cheesy bread. You're not supposed to give a dog a piece
So
of
the
cheesy
dog's
bread.
now got
He's eating
violent
entire-
diarrhea.
the entire
The
thing of
dog
cheesy
died.
bread.
Yeah,
And
dog's
of course,
dead. Yeah.
They're going, "Oh my God, your dog ate all the cheesy bread." He goes, "Well, why is it on the floor?"
Who put the cheesy bread
Yeah.
on the fucking floor?
Yeah,
Does he have any ownership over this?
Yeah.
None. No ownership.
How dare that you're a bad
He
dog owner.
thinks he's the victim.
I swear, he thinks that in order of people whose fault it is, or things whose fault
Right.
it is, he's at the bottom.
Yes.
Okay,
It's either the dog one or the owner's
Or
dog
the
one.
owner,
Or
yeah.
the dog two.
the owner for not policing his animal.
You 3 for inviting him.
yeah,
Yeah, for him.
You
Yeah.
should never have
Yeah.
invited.
Domino's having a more sealed container a
Right.
dog couldn't chew through.
But I'm telling you, he thinks he's done nothing wrong. He thinks that's
No,
perfectly.
it doesn't even occur to him.
It didn't
perfectly
occur to you.
Reasonable.
You stole the cheesy bread and set it within a dog's distance on the floor. This is 1,000%
Yeah.
your fault.
Yeah, and of course he's getting mad at us.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
What's the argument?
Like,
There's
why-
no
There's-
argument.
no, he's not a reasonable
I
person.
can't put the cheesy bread on the table. We're playing poker.
Well, you can also just not play
Yeah.
every hand
Yeah.
like a normal person.
Right. You
Usually,
can also
with that many
fold-
people, usually you
Yes.
fold at least half the hand.
You have 10-3,
Yeah.
you can fold it.
Keep it in your lap.
And you
The
can
dog went all in on your cheesy bread.
Yeah.
Yes, no, every part of it is wrong.
Yes.
Would you have allowed him to have the cheesy bread on the poker table, or is there a no food on
No,
the
no,
table
no.
rules?
Of course you can have
Okay.
have it on. It might be
You
awkward.
can have it in your lap.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
might be awkward,
Yeah.
but you also
He also eats it really fast.
If
He would have
you-
been fine.
if you rank the problems that have occurred, way up there is the idea that you just take the entire appetizer
Right.
that's intended for the group, right? That's got to be, to me, that's even higher than setting it on the floor
Yes.
where it's at risk.
The issue is no one was ever getting any.
Is
at
taking
any
everyone's-
any event where there's food out,
yeah.
you never take all of the one item.
Can you
You
imagine?
don't take the veggie tray; it's all mine.
and I
You
will
don't
say
take the
this.
wings; they're all mine.
No, all the wings are mine. The gigantic
apple
cookie
pie is all mine.
The pepperoni
Yeah.
pizza,
Yeah.
that one's mine.
Right.
I will say this. and the guy said, "What a great guy to host! What a great guy to be!" But everyone, there's no pepperoni pizza. You can't get a sauce. Everything is like, oh, there's a potato on it, or
God.
this one's got.
Is it from a chain or is it from
it's
a
Domino's? But
he's
he's
ordering
ordering
weird
yes.
shit.
And I'm like, just
just get a cheese, a pepperoni, and let the third one be the variable.
Yeah,
You get a cheese, you get a pepperoni,
Yeah,
or do a half and half, and then
Right.
for all the people that
Yes.
got to be fucking foodies, get the one that's got like the maple bacon or
that's
whatever.
What I'm saying. If you're
Yeah.
a foodie, you're not eating at Domino's
Also,
anyway.
you know what else you're not eating if you're above the age of 9? Fucking cheesy bread. That is a child's food. That is. You know
Yes.
what my kids love? They fucking love cheesy
Yeah.
Oh
bread.
yeah.
You know what I've never seen anybody with body hair eat? Fucking cheesy bread. Women and children love
Yeah.
cheesy bread.
Well-
I've never seen a grown man eat fucking cheesy bread.
Last time at Gary's, he mixed it up. He got loaded tots.
Well, no, that
Jesus.
Tim didn't get loaded tots.
No. Gary
got
ordered loaded tots. Tim said, "What are these?" Ate them all. Said, "I didn't even like them."
Yeah, these
Well,
are terrible.
well-
Take these back.
First of all, how do you not know what they are?
A couple things. The first thing.
You never
is,
seen a fucking tater tot.
the reason that he ate the tater tots is because it came in a box that looked like the cheesy.
He's
bread.
like a dog.
Oh my
He's like
God.
a dog.
Yeah.
Oh, that
can't
must
help
be
himself.
cheesy bread.
So-
Oh, they changed their cheesy bread. They now look like little mini potato balls.
I bet you can get really good cheesy bread in New York.
Yeah.
I bet the cheesy bread there is better.
well,
Hey, by the way, I do like cheesy bread. So I mean, I'm gonna push back on you there, Justin.
Domino's
I like
cheesy bread
cheese
is-
and I like bread. I mean,
You got to. You're just one ingredient away from the main dish that's right there.
right.
You just order it.
yeah.
Just
Isn't-
eat a piece of pizza.
No, you're right. Yeah.
cheesy bread essentially just what a lot of people throw away off the pizza.
It's like the
Yes.
edge that they
But
cut away.
I love bread. So-
I'm a bread guy.
Yeah.
I like mozzarella sticks and all that. I just
I
know how
do.
excited my kids get excited for cheesy bread. Brittany goes, I love cheesy bread. Yes, women and children
No, right,
love
that's true.
cheesy bread.
But back to the what
And
happened
Rob.
what
And drunk
happened
Rob.
with the tater tots is Tim went, he opened it up, and I don't know, is it laziness? It's like, while I'm here,
He already got up and opened the box.
Yeah.
Now he must
so
eat it.
now it's there, and he clearly looks at it. He goes, "This is not what I thought that it was."
Yeah.
Now I'm guessing if he would have looked maybe 6 inches over, there's another box that looks just like it that's
Too late.
filled with cheesy bread.
Yep.
But this has been opened. It's like cracking open a soda.
Oh, no.
Wasn't he the
Like,
best man at your wedding?
This is it.
No, Tim wasn't the best. man.
Okay.
You were.
No, your first wedding.
Dean, my friend Dean.
No, you
was.
think I don't know?
but anyway, back to the other place. So now this other place, the factor is that we don't know these people. Imagine there's really no difference than you taking one of the pizza boxes and taking that over with you.
Do you feel the need to like explain
No, I
to these
don't.
people
No,
that he's mentally wrong, that he's
No.
messed up?
no,
Has anybody ever come close to me like, hey, wait, where are you going with the cheesy
No.
bread?
no.
Bring the cheesy bread back.
No.
That's for everybody.
There's one person at that game that makes fun of Tim.
You.
It's me.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You
these
should
guys,
bring Katie.
they don't know me.
Now, Katie's pushing back at you. She goes, Joe brings the cheesy bread stealer, then complains about the free pizza topping. Well,
But
By the
the
way,
pizza toppings are weird.
Hold
Yeah.
on, it's
Ugh.
not free pizza. It's not.
you pay for it?
You know what? That's so.
Oh, no.
One
Oh,
time
boy.
I won that tournament,
Yeah.
and I gave the guy $40.
Okay.
And
like for
For
hosting
food
it,
and drink
providing
and all
Yeah.
that.
beer
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
And
Hospitality.
then later, Jack goes, "Oh no, that guy takes it out of the money that we contribute and buys those pizzas."
I mean,
said, wait a
okay.
minute,
This
He's
guy
actually
making
running.
money?
Wait a
This
minute.
guy's
running a-
making money.
It's a legal game now. We just said it's an illegal game.
What
You
about
can't take a fucking what do they call it?
a
When you
rake?
take- yeah,
Yeah, to buy pizzas.
you're gonna go to prison. You are gonna go to jail.
You're 100%.
Tim's gonna turn on you.
yeah, Tim turned state's evidence.
Tim shanks you in the yard when you guys are in the
The prize witness, Tim Moran.
I'll see you in
I only
Gen
took
Pop.
half the cheesy bread.
Yes, I have evidence. The dog took the other half.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Katie,
asked.
Did you see that little? I guess it's a meme that Katie made.
Mm.
Actually, I don't think they did, but Katie literally took a picture of cheesy bread,
Yeah.
and drew half of it and put Tim's, and then she wrote everyone else's.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
on the other
When
side.
when he has a birthday, you don't make him a cake. You get him a mountain of cheesy bread.
Hey, October.
He
In
would love
October,
that.
birthday is this
get
month.
him
right?
a
It
giant-
is. It's coming up.
Everyone make a secret pack.
Yeah.
Everyone gets him cheesy bread.
Yeah.
I mean, I want it wrapped. I want someone a gift bag. I like somebody to put some in his mailbox.
He'd be the happiest guy in the world.
You just get him
Yeah.
nothing but cheesy bread.
Yeah.
You want the cheesy bread so goddamn bad? Here you go.
Yeah, but that would backfire because it'd be the best gift he ever
He'd
got.
be so excited.
Do it
How
every
many?
time.
How many come in a box? 8, 6?
It's 8. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
eight,
How
yeah.
many is he getting through before he gets sick?
Oh, by the way, you know what a serving size is? It's 1.
2,
Yes.
1.
He's eating 8 times the serving size.
God, he has to be shitting
Yeah.
cement.
A lot of times you'll eat a half of one of the
Yeah.
6, and you'll give the other one to your beloved. Right?
God bless you, Tim. Let's take a break here from our wonderful sponsors. Be right back. Justin, I'm sorry I missed your show. You had an exciting show this past weekend at the Lincoln Theater.
Awesome. Lincoln Theater, DC. Where were you on the road? Were you Buffalo? Where were you?
I was in Buffalo. I've had a crazy stretch here. I know, Joe, you asked me about trivia last night, but I did the Colorado run, and then the Sunday I had one of those nightmare travel days where I was supposed to. I knew it was going to be a long day. I was traveling from Aspen and then Chicago and then to Baltimore, but it was going to be long no matter what. But it got delayed the first flight, and I was going to miss my connection, so they rebooked me. But then I'm still in Chicago, and I was going to have 2.5 hours in Chicago. But I'm like, it's not the end of the world. The Ravens-Cowboys game is going to be on. I'll be in Chicago. We get something to eat. I'll watch football. And then that flight kept getting delayed. And my whole plan was to eat in Chicago, charge my phone in Chicago, watch football in Chicago. You know what I did in Chicago? I ran from the fucking one plane to the other plane and was the last person on.
Oh, no.
So here I have a 3-hour practically window to be able to chill. That disappeared.
Gone.
So then get back Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, leave Wednesday morning, fly to Pittsburgh, Uber an hour to Wheeling, West Virginia, do 2 shows. We drive 4 hours to Buffalo, do 6 shows there. Get back yesterday, Sunday, pretty exhausted.
Show's good.
You were in Buffalo when the Ravens played the Bills?
Well, they played Sunday night. I was in Buffalo. I left Sunday morning.
Oh, I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
But I did know how to kiss their ass because, like, I got the vibe the very first show that they were giving me, like, oh, you're the opener, and the opener's never any good.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I had to, like, win them over, and then they realized, oh, this guy's a real comic. So
It's weird. We're going to talk about that at the Lincoln Theater. Huh.
So I then started opening with, I'm just going to kiss their ass about the Bills.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, the Bills, you're 3-0.
Josh Allen's the fucking man.
I
Talking about jump through tables.
all that shit.
Screw the early 90s.
Exactly. I was throwing in jump through tables to eating pussy references. I had all things.
They'll never go to 4
Yeah.
Super Bowls and lose
No.
again.
And then I go, hey, you beat Jacksonville so bad Monday night, a hurricane hit Florida.
Oh,
And they're going,
we
yeah,
fucking
people
love
are
this
dying.
guy.
Yeah.
People
And then
are
Now
off
here are
and
my
running.
jokes. Right.
So
got
that's
it.
why I missed your show.
Okay.
No, I went to the show. Katie went to the show. It was our friend Norm Wilkerson,
Yeah, I love Norm.
Justin, and Nick Mullen. And of course, Nick Mullen, is he underground? Is that what you call it?
I think
What would
he
you call
was. He's a guy. Would you call Paul F. Tompkins underground? Do you know
No.
Paul F. Tompkins?
I would.
He's
it?
been.
Oh, you mean
in
as a
some-
comic? Maybe.
Yeah.
People know of him, but he's got a Paul F. Tompkins like fan base. Where Paul F. Tompkins, I think, has one of the most fascinating theories about fandom I've ever heard. He's done interviews about this. He has the Paul F. Tompkins 100K, where he doesn't want millions of fans. He doesn't need a major.
Loyal.
He doesn't want 2, 3, 4 million. He wants 100,000 that'll follow him to the ends of the earth.
That's all you
Yeah.
need.
Just about got it. So anywhere in the world he really wants to perform, he'll fill up. He's got his 100K army that will go and he'll do these nice medium-sized theaters and do really well for himself. Nick is like that.
And,
That was a Nick Mullen
and
crowd.
what does it seat?
1,200.
Now, Nick is also, if you go back to, I believe it was it 2 summers ago or last summer, the Gay Joe Summer episode of the DLP Agenda.
Holy
Where
shit. That's
if Joe
right.
and Katie split up because Joe's now gay,
Yeah.
so that's amicable, and she is then free to date amongst the group. She had her number one,
Nick Mullen.
Nick Mullen.
Okay, we're going to jump around because
Yeah.
I want to focus on what Rob's
Yeah.
saying here. The end of the night, show goes well. We're out in the lobby. He's doing a meet and greet, super amicable with the fans. He's got some fucking weird fans.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like the skank fest type people that are real rowdy. The people that are really like Sam Hyde,
Katie's a 15 there.
$1 Million Extreme. They
Oh,
can't
but yeah,
handle
no, Katie was by far the hottest. chick in
Katie
it, yeah.
was a myth
Well,
to
first
these
of all,
people.
it
They
was
thought
almost
she
like-
was lost.
It was almost like a Rush concert, the male to female
Oh
ratio.
my god,
Right.
it was
I
it was 20-1, and that might be being generous. I'm saying hi to Nick and some others, and I want Katie to come over. I'm like, hey, let's go meet Nick. She's like, I can't. I'm like, come on, let me go. I'll go bring him over. And she's like, no, don't.
She's nervous.
And we're joking a little bit, but I think she was also serious. It was like watching somebody like want to meet a pop star that they were nervous around. Like, I wondered how much of that was legitimate. She was really like, oh my God, get
No.
my Japanese fan out. It was funny seeing her like
She's
that.
admitting that I don't normally
Yeah.
get weird around people, but I do get weird around Nick.
Yeah,
Well, when
she
the
was
sexual
smitten.
attraction is that strong in front of your husband,
And the
that'd be
fact
awkward.
that I brought up backstage that Katie is horny for you,
Yes.
Nick, and she has a photo on her phone when you worked out during COVID with the long
Yes,
beard,
She does.
the pecs and the
I
abs.
didn't know he had that information.
Yeah, I made sure you knew.
He
No,
did. He
backstage
does
I
know
told him.
I
Yeah,
text him as
I was
well.
absolutely
Norman
made sure.
knows,
Rob,
too.
could you do me a favor? Can
Yeah.
you follow up? We're gonna hit this from all angles.
Okay, every angle, from
So-
the front, back,
Yeah.
missionary,
Windows
doggy.
to the walls,
Yeah.
to the sweat drips
Mhm.
down Nick's
Well,
balls.
first off, I want to say, God, the show was great. Justin,
Just that I could do this the whole
Yeah.
time.
Justin,
Nick
was,
Mullen.
Justin was fucking great.
Yeah,
It was a great night.
He was
It was a
great.
great night. Thank you.
He was great. The thing you got to, and I was saying this to Justin is, I went to go see God, I can't think of his name.
Give me a reference.
The guy who does the Sixth Sense. You know him a little bit. The Sixth Sense joke.
Oh, Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, I went to go see
Bargatze.
Nate Bargatze. There were 4 comics that opened for him.
Yeah.
Right. I wanted to see fucking Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were there to see Nate
Right.
Bargatze.
So Justin, he really does well. And I almost got the impression that you weren't happy with your set. And
there
I'm
was
like, you're not. It's for Justin was fucking great, but that whole audience, they want to see Nick
they
Mullen.
want to see
Yeah.
Nick
Yeah,
Mullen.
so it's
Because he's reached that tier. When people come to Magoobies,
yes.
they want to see a show at Magoobies, and we do have some die laughing fans.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people are excited to go to see a show at Magoobies. You want to go see a comedy show this weekend? There's a murder mystery this weekend.
Right.
But when you have a fan base,
Yeah.
that's a different level of
Yes.
comedian. You've leveled up to that. I've never experienced that. To Rob's point about I need to earn this crowd's attention. They're there to see Champ. They're there to see
Right.
yes.
David Koechner. They want to see that guy. So Norm had to fight his way out of a hole to get started.
Norm started very. He said he was nervous, and he wasn't. He was his own worst enemy at the beginning
Yeah.
because he came out awkward. But he also is a very funny guy. So
Yeah.
he had a couple of jokes about the guy.
He made a joke about Texas that didn't land.
It
But he's
didn't
not
land.
a natural host.
And
in
he said,
terms of
no,
his energy.
He's
no.
also-
As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
He's done comedy like 3 times in 8 years or something.
not
Yeah.
only is he, this is so Justin does a set. Justin has this new bit that he does where to prove how not gay he is. And
Yeah.
it's really great.
Katie says you're super tight set.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Very
it was
smooth,
great.
very
It's
It
nice
was-
having friends in the audience.
It was really great. But then when Justin was done, he's like, "Thank you guys so much." Norm's nowhere to be found.
And he's supposed to not. It's not a baton we're handing
No.
off.
It's not a
He's-
daisy chain.
no.
No, it's
He's gonna
You're the
introduce.
So now Nick just walks.
Is there
out.
music? Is
No.
there?
There's
there's nothing. Nick just walks out like,
Just walks out.
hey,
All right.
crowd explodes
Didn't
upon
care.
seeing.
Didn't
him.
Yeah.
Oh, also, let's get back to Norm. Norm, and I love Norm. Norm he was a fixture in the early aughts for me.
He's
You knew
a
him
very
before I-
funny
He's
guy.
been on our show and
He was
Yeah.
great. Norm's great.
lost
He's
a
such a
friend because of it.
naturally funny guy. He was so kind to me backstage. I never knew where him and I stood back in the day
Mhm.
because he's on a slightly different plane socially.
Yes.
You got to kind of earn your way into him. He could be a little cynical, but
yes.
delightfully so. So I give him. He's like, "What do you want me to say about you?" I go, "Just he's from the 98 Rock Morning Show." Joe, take it away. How was
He
the
walks
intro?
out and he goes, "All right." After he does his set,
Yeah.
he goes, "All right, this next comic, he's in a radio in Baltimore, K Rock, something like that." It's Justin Schlegel.
Rock nine.
He called it K Rock.
He called it K Rock. He's like, I don't know. It's a
School
fucking
of Rock.
rock. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This guy
Now-
knows Dwayne the Rock
Yes.
Johnson.
In,
Rocky Balboa.
He was in Michael Bay's The Rock.
Rocky Road.
in
yeah.
Norm's defense, it's not defensible. But here's the thing: the people that knew Justin knew he was on
Yeah.
98 Rock. The people that
Yeah.
didn't know him, K Rock worked just
They're
as
like, okay, cool. That's a
K-Rock
pretty
sounds
legendary
cool.
station.
Yeah.
Is that it? K Rock?
Yeah.
Is that where you're from?
K-Rock.
Yeah.
It's an interesting theater because I think we have all at some point or another performed the Arlington Cinema Draft House.
Mhm.
The Arlington Cinema Draft House
I'll
in
be there in 3 weeks.
Arlington. It's an infamous spot.
Mhm.
And the reason it's infamous is because of the design of the place. It's a draft house. It's a theater. And sometimes there's some stage plays, but the laughter there gets swallowed up
Yeah.
into the ceiling.
You never think you're doing that well.
You don't think you're doing well. I remember the night that I did the Kreischer thing. Joe DeRosa thinks he's eating it.
Yeah.
Joe DeRosa is like, he gets backstage, same reaction I had, like, I don't think that was that great. And meanwhile, we all went side stage or down into the pit and looked up, and the laughter hit us in the back.
Yeah.
But when you're on stage, even at the beginning of my set, I didn't hear a lot of laughter.
No, dude.
I know I did fine. I
Yeah.
saw faces
Yeah.
and I saw some footage. I'm like, okay, I did great. But when you're up there, when you have those big cathedral-shaped ceilings, that's why I love the Improv. I love Brightbox. Those ceilings are very shotgun. The sound has weight. It travels right to you. So for a while, I didn't hear much on stage. And then I saw footage, and it went fine.
You got to learn that there's a different rhythm to it. There's expectations.
Like Eric was like, you were kind of rushing through some stuff. And I was like, I couldn't hear the laughs from the back. So I felt like, oh, shit, I got to get to the next thing.
You have to naturally go slower in that big of a room, which is hard to do.
It is.
You feel like
you don't perform in venues of that size ever. I mean, I've performed in the 2 biggest venues I've ever performed in this year. Merriweather in June, and this thing here. I've never come anywhere close to these two. So I don't have any frame of reference for these. I'm not used to these.
Warner Theater, I think, well, that was definitely the biggest that I did with Tiffany Haddish.
That was thousands, right?
Yeah.
Also, before the show, something happened back in the green room. So, and this is a logistical thing on my part. So there's a bathroom. There's like 3 or 4 green rooms. So I get there. Nick's in another one. I get mine. And
you guys aren't in the same green room?
We are eventually. We all find each other.
Right.
But there's a bunch of green rooms back there. But I find a small one while they're trying to find him. And there is a toilet in the back of the room. It's a small green room where the toilet is in the room. There's no door. So you just shut the door to the green room or whatever.
Got it.
And I got to piss. I've been in DC traffic for an hour. So I go and I walk into the room and I'm like walking over to the toilet to piss. And I take it out. And I do a thing with my foot where I kind of kick the door shut. And as I'm pissing, the door just slowly starts to swing back open. It did not catch. And the door, and I'm hearing someone with like a tray of things. They're like clanking
on
down.
A walker.
Something. Yeah, here comes a Ronin. All right. He's something. And I'm just waiting for someone, whether it be a Nick or a Norm or the lady that runs the place.
Yeah.
And I've just got my crank out, the door open, like someone. Yeah. Sorry to hear about that. I know a doctor you could see. Listen to the Patreon. That's gotta stare at my junk. Luckily, finished up in time. No one saw it, but for a second,
it could have been worse. You could have been doing the long stay, as you call it.
Oh my God,
that would have been facing your.
I'm literally facing
your accuser.
Hey, sorry about the thing that I'm doing here.
Good times.
So I wanted.
It's the brown room. Get it?
Hey, you son of a bitch! It was a great show. Nick's. I don't know why I thought that Nick just didn't have parents. He was a comedy orphan to us.
Yeah.
Nick was one of the guys. You know what he was almost like for a generation prior to us? You hear stories about Dave Chappelle being snuck into clubs by a Tony Rock, by who else? There's other main
Tony Woods.
Doctor Tony Woods is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
He was so young they'd sneak him into clubs to perform. Well, I completely forgot. Nick Mullen was 16.
Oh yeah, no, I remember
a child, and he was in there with a bunch of fucking vagabonds at best, villains at worst. And I got to talk to his dad a little bit after the show. I was like, it's got to feel pretty great. Your boy's done awesome. He bought his dad a house. He told me that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And
he employs his dad.
He takes care of his mom. He's like taking care of his grandmother's late in life care. She's got dementia. Like he has a loving, genuine, supporting family that
Katie already wants him.
I know she wants to fuck him
make
up.
him sound better.
And you just hear his dad. I was like, God, you got to really feel proud of your son. He's like, yeah. I'm just so impressed with him. Like, I've known him for about 20 years. I knew him at Wiseacres when I was in my early 20s. It was, that era scared us. That era scared us. We would just drop our child off and we'd see the people in there. And part of me wonders if he dropped his kid off at one point and saw me. And saw
Norm.
Saw Norm,
Mike Diesel.
saw Diesel, saw Clay Miles, Brian.
None of us look like we should be giving a 16-year-old advice.
None of
life
us.
Advice.
None of us. So I was thinking about modern day comedy. I'm not breaking down any comedic philosophical bullshit. It's one of the most boring podcasts you can listen to. The essence of what a joke means.
We'll never do that.
But you've got right now what you saw Nick do in front of that crowd. All right. Then you've got what Stavros Halkias does in front of a crowd. Then you have Hughes the beautiful boy with the big lips and the perfect jaw.
Oh, Adam Rife.
Matt Rife. You got Matt Rife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're living, even Adam Ray. The crowd work stuff.
Yeah.
You know who's one of the best people I ever saw do crowd work back in the day? Joe Robinson.
Joe's great at crowd work.
You, of all eras for you, and Nick and I were talking about this backstage. We were talking about crowd work people. He said it, not me. For people to do crowd work in this area right now, it's it. It's the A1 king shit of popular, consumable, TikTokable, Instagram, reelable styles of comedy was what you did better than anyone in the scene.
Thanks.
To where part of me is like, would you mind giving it a shot again somehow? Because right now is your era. What you did best is happening right now.
So let me just say this. So I remember when I first got comfortable. I'll never forget where I was when I went into the crowd. And then I started realizing that those laughs were a lot easier.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot to mine there.
And it was something that I could do. And so, but I really worked hard to earn the right to step out of what I was doing to go into the crowd. And then once I did that, because that's what I used to do when I used to do the Hyatt, because I didn't have 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't have it. So what I would do is I'd be like, all right, I would do my set and I would always segue through the audience.
It was about 25-20 crowd work to material.
Yeah. And I would just segue into the crowd. And
you'd find bits within crowd work that would be containable, packageable, and would become then a bit.
It would, but it would always involve the crowd. I couldn't really, and then I got to the point where I couldn't really even do my stand-up without crowd work. And then I wouldn't say lazy, but you know,
it's a skill.
It's
a skill.
I'm
became
not
a crutch.
The truth is that I just stopped getting. I ran out of ideas.
Yeah, right.
I really did. I ran out of ideas.
Oh, I've had stretches of years where I had no ideas.
I'm like, God, I hate my jokes.
Oh, I know.
Right. So I hated my jokes, and so the only way that I could really get joy was to go into the crowd, and that I almost got good at it because I really didn't have any. Right, I didn't have any.
You
other
didn't feel
choice,
inspiring to write a joke the way like a Stephen Wright or like
anybody, right? Like a Rob Mayer. I just can't do it anymore.
Well-crafted beginning, middle, end style jokes.
But
please,
in Buffalo this past week, during the set, I'm like, am I hearing fireworks?
What?
And I'm like, it keeps happening. So it wasn't like a banging that just happened once. So I'm like, I have to acknowledge this. Now, we're right next to the Buffalo Sabres, the hockey teams, whatever their stadium's called. And I know they had a game the night before. It's preseason. And I'm like, are there fireworks going on? Now I'm kind of happy, though, because this is going to be fun to play with.
Right.
Yeah, you got something to play with now.
And everyone's like, yeah, I guess so. And I'm like, are you celebrating a Buffalo Sabres preseason hockey win? You fucking people in Buffalo are
That's
crazy.
How bad Buffalo
There's
Sabres
people
are.
going through tables. We won a preseason game. So, now, meanwhile, there wasn't a hockey game.
Okay,
but nobody knows that, right?
No.
But you can just theater of the mind. They're like, okay, we'll go on this ride with you.
Well,
and then I got lucky because I tried to like time my next joke, and I acknowledge this. Can I get to the punchline and then the finale hits? And I fucking sucked the landing. Now, it was luck.
You
were like, yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, a guy I've referenced on the show before that I've had the opportunity to work with around here, Umar Khan, does a once a month thing.
He has a special.
It's called Let's Talk About It. And he does a crowd work special also. And it's a once a month, the whole
Rory
show.
Scovel did a whole thing.
Rory's was interesting. Rory's was different than crowd work. He incorporated some crowds, but he told entire on the fly conceptualized stories with no crowd involvement. Umar's is very much all right.
What do you do?
Let's
for
do
a
it
living?
open forum.
Yeah.
And then he asks some more intricate and interesting questions.
What are your biggest fears in life?
Exact stuff like that. He minds it. He's
like
good
that.
at it. But man, you were a lead at it to where have you?
And
did you acknowledge
it.
that you live in an era now where that's the hottest thing is the thing you did?
There's a couple things, and then like I'm 55 years old. Okay, I'm that part of my life. I can't start over. Right now I do murder mysteries. I do this podcast. I hope to do Track Off later today.
Yeah.
I do. Here's why.
I do crowd work with my
and I do
Rolling
radio
Stones
and I love
pick.
I really just love doing that. In order for me to do whatever that is, I have to get good at comedy again. It's stand up. Then once I'm good at stand up, then I start getting good at crowd work again. Then once I get good at crowd work again, I'm 60 years old.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that. Look, I've said this before. Whatever I've done in the world of comedy, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I did all the things that I wanted to do. You know, I've hit some pretty high peaks. Right. For me, honestly, I'm telling you right now, for me, and I've had some big moments, but when me and you did the competition to go to LA.
Yeah.
And we had a friend that won it, and I'm not gonna, but you and I were the funniest people that night.
We did really well.
And I remember
one of the judges hated me.
well, one of the judges hated me too. And
Matt Kazam.
Matt Kazam hated me too. It's funny you say that because Bird Knight told me he went back there and he goes, "Who won it, Joe or Justin?" He said that to him.
Yeah, because which one of the guys won?
And
He's like,
he goes, those guys aren't going to win this.
they're not. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
Guys, not that. No,
So-
this one guy won. Those two aren't going to win.
Yeah, right.
This.
And
yeah.
so
That's
I'm
fair.
like, but it did honestly, and that was for me. That was like, okay, I'm in a group of the funniest people that this area has to offer, and there's only one guy as funny as me right now.
And you're hanging with all of them.
And
Right.
I'm like, that's it, one guy. And I'm like, okay, so now
It was interesting hearing Nick talk about that too. Nick backstage, because we did a huge reminisce
Right.
session. There's Norm, there's Nick, there's me.
Right.
Haven't seen each other. And we talked about that class of comic
Mhm.
and about Nick has traveled. Nick's gone to Philly,
Mhm.
New
Yeah.
York. He lived in Austin before Austin was Austin, Los Angeles. I mean, really, he's been nomadic. And he says there's never been a scene like that scene from the aughts into the early teens around here in the DMV. Says, I mean, the amount of
No,
people
it
that's
was-
been
yeah.
put out between Jermaine Fowler, Rory, Stavros himself.
Yeah, Andy Klein came from that. Seton Smith came from that group.
Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
say one other thing, and then
Aaron
I'll stop
Jackson.
talking about myself. But thank you for the compliment.
It just seems unfair that my dear friend
Yeah.
who does something better than anybody else, it's now that thing's time. If I
Yeah.
found it in 10 years, God, a Transformer owning wrestling fan gets bitches wet. They're like, wait, no,
Yeah.
no, I've
Well,
been doing that.
Don't worry, that'll
It
never
will
happen.
never
I'll
happen.
say one more thing, and then we'll stop talking about me. I remember Rob invited me to be, and I think I've told the story on here before. Rob invited me to be on his CD release show
Yeah,
at Wiseacres.
Yeah.
Okay.
it takes a village.
And I went to that, and there were some really, really funny people that were on that show, right? Norm Wilkerson was on that show.
Yeah.
Andy Klein was
Yeah.
on that show, whatever. And there was a girl there that worked at the Improv. You're going to remember who it was. I don't.
Melba?
Maybe.
Oh,
Right.
God, I love
And-
Melba.
And at the end of it, she said that guy, Joe Robinson, was the funniest guy.
And she sees improv every week. So,
And
yeah.
and I also did great. And that's when I'm like, okay, as soon as I was around my peers,
And I was like, hey, bitch, it's my CD
but
release.
not even
Yeah.
around, but you're the one that told me that, right?
Inside
Yeah.
voices.
But not even around my peers, but the guys who had separated
Mhm.
themselves. Once that happened, then I'm like, okay. And that was really kind of what drove
Do
me
you
to
still
be-
have your album?
I wouldn't know where.
Are you proud of it?
No, it's horrible.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
why I'm doing
Yeah.
this special in
All
November.
right.
I hate the current special
Yeah,
that exists
yeah.
of me. I can't
Yeah,
stand it.
get that.
nothing against my brother, but he just left a ton of crowd work. It doesn't work on a
Right.
CD. It doesn't. And
In a
there's-
visual medium these days where everything
Hey,
is,
look
no
at
one
that
releases an
shirt. Yeah.
audio track
Yeah.
anymore of
Right.
anything. It's all visual. That now, to double down on my point, it would definitely work now
maybe
because you see.
I'm just thinking
the
people might
interaction.
want to hear. Hey, we like I
Yeah,
said, we
enough
just,
of that.
we
Enough.
just recorded the bonus show. Here's a little taste of what we just did. Be right back. You think, and we should ask Katie this, but as a guy, if you found out like a girl was masturbating thinking of you, even if she was hideous, you'd be like, good.
I
right?
add that to a
You-
resume.
right.
Are you kidding me?
But
Someone jacked
is-
off to me?
Is a hot girl like Katie? Is she? I mean, she knows that's happened in her life and people she went to school with or whatever. Is that
Yeah.
something? Do you think that she's like, didn't think about, or is it? Is
I
she
don't-
patting herself on the back? It's
No,
different.
I don't think she like it.
if
Okay. I
if
don't
she was the
think she
kid,
is.
the question you're asking, if she found out someone was cranking to her,
Yeah.
Yes.
I think part of it depends on the guy.
yeah.
If she found out that Tommy and I were rubbing one out, she'd be like, fucking gross.
No, if it was
But if
Ryan
she found
Gosling,
out that it was Gosling
yeah,
or
no,
Gosling,
that's,
Hey,
Yeah.
if Ryan Gosling was rolling out
Right,
to me,
that's-
I'd be
yeah.
happy to.
Yeah.
that's
Hey,
not.
it's not happening.
If I found out Ryan Reynolds was a pediatric gynecologist, I'd pretend to be a 7-year-old girl and spread my ass cheeks in front of him.
And on that note, we're out of here.
Later. And if anybody in the chat wonders if I was key bumping cocaine in my car prior to the show because I keep messing with my nose,
The
I have
answer
a
is yes.
fucking zit on the inside of
Oh.
my nose, and one
Oh.
of those ones that you got when you were like 13. I'm
Really?
like, hey, cool, I still got it.
Yeah.
Still getting pimples, but it's in,
Like having a wet
in
dream.
my goddamn nose right now. And I'm telling you, I got a sewing needle and a lighter with his name on it when I get in there. I got to get this thing out of me. Every breath is like passing this thing. Oh, it's driving me crazy. Tell you
What are you
I
gonna
won't
do? Are
go-
you gonna pop it?
Nah, there's no way. It's one of those ones the minute you start to squeeze, tears shoot out of
Brittany
your
says,
fucking
pop
eye.
it like it's hot.
Brittany, you also, by the way, Brittany did not know you did stand up.
Yeah,
Isn't that
but here's
wild?
what she said. I never would have guessed Joe's got the funny bone like that.
Really? You don't know how
Because
good
of
he
what I
was
do
on
on
stage.
this
Yeah.
You had no
I
idea how
listened to
great
the
he
podcast
was.
for years. He's never made me laugh. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you.
Brittany Bergson.
I had no idea Bergson was your maiden name.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Again, go to patreon.com/the DLP agenda And if you are not a member, if you want to just hear some free things, go on there, click on collections,
Please.
and there's a DLP free view. There's 4 or 5 episodes, different programs that you listen to for free. And if you want to go back, you are a member, listen to every episode. I've made them all collections. So if you
That's
just
awesome.
want to go to Dork Dynasty from the beginning, you just want to go to our particular Patreon, you just want to go to Last Got Any, which we'll be recording a new one on it's tomorrow.
And I
Wednesday,
think we're going to be doing it tomorrow late, right around 6. And we're
Yes.
getting deep into the McMahon documentary.
Absolutely. And I'm recording a new story time with Tommy on Thursday. So we're going to be hitting that Patreon hard the next
Yeah, you're
and
gonna
the
see a
track
ton
off
of-
as well. So the next, a week or so, you're going to have 4 or 5 new things on there.
Yeah, you'll get plenty. You're going to be getting up. If you're at the $5 tier, buck a show, bump it up to 10, tell your friends, continue to expand this thing. By the way, with the holidays coming around, gift someone a Patreon.
There you
How
go.
about that? What the
Yes.
hell? No one wants the stupid Amazon card. No one wants that tin full of, Captain's wafers, V-Bucks in Fortnite, whatever. Everybody knows you got it off of Amazon. Give them the gift of entertainment this year.
Yes.
Sign them up for a Patreon and go, here you go. You got a shit commute. You're stuck at work. You got nothing to listen to at the gym. The DLP Patreon legitimately would be a great gift.
And
you can
Patreon
hear
has an
the-
app. You can download the app, and it's the easiest way to listen
And
to
you
it.
can listen to the Chris Restivo show.
There you go.
It's
Hey,
worth
and
$5.
real quick, it's not on our list, but last week we had the Katie Cup. where
Yes.
Who knows Katie the best? And there was a lot of talk leading up to it that if you didn't win, that you'd be in trouble, Joe. But you did win.
Yeah.
You won in a landslide.
Great point. How did
So-
it go after we left? 'Cause,
Yeah.
brother, you
Wins
stuck
just-
the landing.
Just constant sex.
It wasn't
Just-
constant sex.
Get
but
your
no.
hot ass up there. Let me
My-
suck that
But
great dick.
I'll say this, and Katie's going to agree. She knew I was going to know all that stuff. There's really
Yes,
nothing.
there was
that-
really
yeah,
no-
I mean, yeah,
I'll
it's-
agree and disagree because some of the things on there you should obviously know, but
Yeah.
some of the things she said in the creation of the quiz,
Yeah,
other people reminded her about herself.
yeah.
So there was some third party help in crafting it. So it wasn't a complete fish in a barrel.
yeah.
There was some stuff on there that, like, for some of the ones, there was one about her ideal date. And
Yeah, I got it right.
like,
Oh, no,
which
where she wanted to live.
I think you
got
might
that wrong.
where she wanted
No,
to
the
live.
ideal date I
So,
got
yeah.
right.
Not
but,
all of them.
but you guys also got it right.
But also
Yeah,
the
hell yeah. No, my
speed.
sort of. I came in
There
fifth
was
place.
pressure because the speed of it.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
hit the wrong button. You could just old man fuck it up.
No,
And
you're
then-
right
yeah.
about that.
But you
There's too
didn't.
many questions to old
Yeah.
man fuck it up. And there is even the one about the working farm. If I would have
Yes.
just read it slowly,
I know.
And
I
hey,
would have gotten
speaking
that
of
too.
Katie, breaking news for anybody that's going to be a member of the Patreon blog. You two are going to be going on a Mexican vacation
That's right.
later this year, and you're going to be blogging the whole Mexican vacation, maybe some written posts, some still photos.
Yeah.
You're going to shoot a video, and you guys are going to be Patreoning your Mexican
love it.
vacation.
All right, done.
I love that.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Great idea. When is this? This is in a month or
Yeah, it's at the
End of November?
It's in the twos, the
the
early
week before
twos of
Thanksgiving.
November.
Is
Yeah,
that
so
correct?
it's like November 21st,
Okay.
22nd, something like that. Katie will tell you. It's
Yeah.
right around that.
Now
time.
we talked about. We're not going to do it anytime soon, but we will do a blank cup with each of us. A Joe
Yeah,
cup.
I'm thinking quarterly.
Right. Now,
Let's-
a Joe cup, it's the same thing. Katie's the obvious favorite. But for a Justin or a Rob cup,
Yeah.
is there a favorite?
yeah,
I don't know.
Katie will probably do the best with you,
Okay.
or me. I think
Mhm.
maybe, and then
Mhm.
for Justin, it will. I don't know, probably be Katie again.
Yeah,
Katie will probably
Katie
do the
pays
best.
attention to her friends.
Yeah, she'll
Katie's got
probably
me
be
some of
the
those
best.
thoughtful
But,
gifts I've
the
ever been
listeners
given.
have a chance in that too.
They do have a listen. The
Oh, yeah.
listeners can get involved also. You know what I can do? And I can teach her. I can show her. I can get her set up for the thing. I can have Mudge play remotely.
Oh yeah,
I could set her up on the
Mhm.
phone and have her under some assumed name.
Gotta
Yes.
be no, she can be under Mudge.
Mudge underscore
Yeah.
69
You
underscore
mean
420
to win without
to,
to cheat?
yeah, to cheat.
I
I can.
got you.
I can write. I'll write them out, and she'll hear
Yeah.
them in real time and see if she can guess them.
Well, it would be fun just to do this with your own family. To see who
No.
I wonder.
nobody
fun
gets
for-
it. They all get them
everybody
wrong.
but me.
Yeah, but say you got to be careful because what if Mudge wants to do it and then she finds
Sorry.
out you don't know anything about.
So the next one we're doing is the Rob Cup. Do you know Rob? And eventually we'll do Robbie, and eventually
Yeah.
we'll do Mike Chamberlain.
Katie says we should do a general DLP trivia cup. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mac
we're
Bergson's a
back
big
up.
winner for that. Yeah.
Mark Sands, Justin, can't
Yeah.
wait for you to get the special out for all to see. Hope I can be there. By the way, quick update on the special.
Yes.
The special,
Give
there
us
is
the date again.
the date it's being filmed November 30th, 6:30 show, close to a sellout
Hell
right
yeah.
now. I think it's almost sold
Good
out.
for you.
And the 9:30 show, more than half full.
Awesome.
So get on there. Justin98 Rock on Instagram. There's a link right at the top. It's Ramset on stage in Annapolis. Beautiful. There's a parking garage right around the corner. What has changed is that I had an opportunity. Thank you to Rory Scovel, who was in town, and he asked me about it. He put me in touch with his publicist. He goes, these people can help, and they're going to help guide you a little bit. You need to do a lot of your own footwork. But he set me up on a Zoom call with his publicist that helped put out Sex, Religion, and Everything Else in Between, and Live Without Fear. And she explained how the podcast circuit works. That's what you do these days, the podcast circuit. You're going Two Bears, One Cub, JRE, Theo Vaughn, basically all of them, the thing with Andrew Schultz. And I told her the stuff that I'm doing. And I told her about the release date. And I said, I wanted to do it at Christmas. And I want to release it because that's a day that people are getting like devices and streaming and all that. She's like, it's a wonderful idea on paper. But if you really want to push this thing, you want to be able to go on and push it during pretty major podcasts. And from December 25th up until about January 10th, publicity goes on hiatus. They absolutely hibernate.
That makes sense.
And they get back into it come mid to late January.
Yes.
So I'm going to be pushing the thing, probably the release, probably 3 weeks back. It's going to give Ryan from Air Bear Production shout out. It's going to give him more time to edit it. It's going to give him more time to get the soundtrack attached. There's 2 things that I'm doing in it that if you come to the 9:30 show, you're going to be a part of. So it is now going to be bumped to just midway through January.
I think that's a great idea.
Spit polish.
It's a lull, and you're in the kind of people are over the holidays and they're just getting the doldrums of the cold. And they're going to want that.
Exactly. There's not going to be a lot to do in January. It's a dead zone for movies and TV shows. So I'm already lined up to go back on Stavi. I'm going to go on Harlan Williams' podcast. Ryan Sickler from The Honeydew is going to let me. And then once I got that stuff, I kind of hand it off to the publicist. And then she takes it to her people and goes, look, this guy has friends that acknowledge him and he's got a product to sell and an interesting story. And then we'll kind of get off to the races. This is all Rory's efforts, by the way. He was just an absolute golden god. Between him and Nick, those 2 are teaching me, ask for help. Ask for help. Ask someone.
It's a good thing to learn.
You
I'm bad at that
reward
too.
them by being funny.
I reward them by not being embarrassed by the thing that I'm asking them to help me with. I'm not someone that is like just this schlub. I have capabilities. So
Katie's asking special release party.
I would love to. You know what?
Let's bounce that around.
I love the idea. How about this? God, Katie's not just hot, but she's smart. I wouldn't mind doing a $50 party for the $50 Patreon members, maybe in 2050s.
Special,
and I will have it before it's released. I will have it on a thumb drive.
Oh, hell
We'll pop that son of a bitch in a TV.
Work that out. Yeah.
I like that idea. I will do you know what? I'll make you the promise here. Once it's ready to go, prior to, we'll find a place, might even be a home, who knows. And Dave Dennis is always good for it.
Yeah.
Love you, Dave Dennis. If you wouldn't mind turning your home back out into a bunch of strangers, we'll get like 10 or 15 people. We'll pop that thumb drive in, get some food.
What if there's some venue that we can
I gotta
rent out some.
You know who I bet can help with that? One Mr. Randolph Rice from Mice Mirth and
Yes, he can.
He knows some people, including a very nice club that he has access to rent for civilians.
Yes.
That you're not allowed into the main area. Yeah. We might be able to do that. Randolph, that could be great.
Another place.
Love that idea.
And we have a brand new murder mystery day to announce, November 22nd.
Yes.
Jimmy's
Famous Seafood. Right. We're booking ourselves a comedy murder mystery.
The answer is murder. The trivia show.
Brilliant one. And here's why this one's going to work. And thank you for suggesting it, because John asked me, John Minadakis from Jimmy's Famous Seafood, he's looking to fill some stuff, and he asked about doing stand-up. I was like, the murder mystery is the way to go. It's better than anything you could imagine. I was like, 80s, 90s, we got horror, we got Halloween and all that. But it occurred to me after you said it, they do trivia nights there all the time, and they fucking pack it.
They do the Office trivia. They do Disney, Friends, Disney, pro wrestling.
They do
Ravens,
Harry Potter,
Orioles.
Barbie. Any type of theme, just regular trivia heads show up.
Yeah,
that's the baked-in genius of The Answer is Murder. Is that you get a comedy murder mystery fan, you get a DLP fan, but then you get those trivia psychos,
and they take it serious,
and they take it real seriously, and they got the infrastructure in place, and they got Big Mike that helps run it all. So November 22nd.
It's a Friday night.
It's a Friday night, and it's our first time there.
Yeah.
So if you could please, I'm telling you, I need my Britneys from your counties. I need people coming down from PA. I need people to squat up and fill this thing, because if the first one goes well, he will book us for subsequent ones.
Absolutely.
And I love John Minadakis. That is a man near and dear to my heart. He has treated me like a prince for a decade, and I want nothing more than to please that man. So fill that thing November 22nd. We've also got a couple sneaking up on us very, very soon. Murder Mystery season is here. We're going to be at the Bright Box October 12th, so we'll see you there for that. I believe we are also going to be at 2 Magooby shows. The 24th, I'm going to be doing stand-up. It is going to be myself. It is going to be Steve Huber. It is going to be... Who else is on that damn show? Someone else is on that thing.
From DLP.
I think it's DLP. It might
All
be
right.
Eric. I believe it's
All
Eric.
right.
Eric's
Okay.
going to be on that with me. And then 2 nights later, we're going to be doing the Magoobies Halloween Murder Mystery on the 26th.
And then DC Improv on the 30th.
Yeah.
And then I just finished the we have the new Christmas Murder Mystery, Clue Christmas. Just
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just
finished
saw
the
it.
first draft. Very excited. The hard part's done, just a little fine tuning, and then we're off and running. We have, again, we'll be doing that all December as well. You know, I didn't tell this story yet, and this story doesn't have an end that's exciting, but it is kind of the thing that only happens to me.
Please.
I believe we were in Stamford, Connecticut, and it was after the show, and Dave and I go in the hotel, and had been a wedding, and the wedding party had come back to the hotel where they're staying, and they see Dave, they recognize him, they're freaking out. The bride comes over, the groom, he does the photos. They're like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Can't believe a champ showed
Right.
up to the wedding.
And then one of the people in the wedding party says, hey, we're up in room whatever. You want to come hang out, have some drinks? And he's about to go to bed, but I'm like, I kind of want to keep this party going.
Prima nocta.
I go up there, and then he immediately kind of realizes they're just hounding him too much and call
Yeah.
Will Ferrell. I was like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
out of here. So he leaves.
Okay.
So now I'm just hanging out. And then all the guys decide they want to go get high. And the guy's concerned about smoking in the room because
Yeah.
you're not allowed to. And he's
On
like,
the
I don't want to
balcony.
pay the.
Right.
They go outside. They go downstairs. Now here I am at 1 a.m., a complete stranger with 7 chicks from the fucking wedding,
Including the bride.
Yes.
What's she wearing? Is she wearing her wedding dress?
No, she's now got sweatpants. And shit.
Okay.
I have
And
the
one
bride,
of them,
the
right?
sister, the whole wedding party.
Now,
Some are
if it-
still dressed. It's just me.
If it was me, I'd be like, I gotta ramp this shit up because it's gonna get awkward if I'm just
sitting here.
I'm holding court.
That's
They're
what I'm saying. Did you
Yeah.
perform? You
Oh,
had
yeah.
to.
Oh, you're just shucking and jiving.
absolutely.
You
But I'm
break
like,
out a Mach 3 razor?
how could they ever go to the
Go to the
Patreon.
Patreon.
But how could they ever envision their night? They're going to end up in their hotel room with just a stranger they never met.
Now,
before. Who's a guy?
But they didn't. That's right. They didn't attend the show. They did.
No.
Are they aware that you're a professional comedian?
yes, and they were,
But they have
trying
to take
figure
your
out
word
who I
for it.
am. They think they thought I was famous. They're like, "Are you?" I'm like, "I'm not anybody." Like,
But
"Oh,
they look you up and go,
And
okay,
they're
this
like,
guy
okay, I
isn't
think
just
it's
talking
this
out of
guy.
his ass.
Yes.
He's real.
But it's just that only happens to me. That I'm just in this hotel room.
God.
We're all drinking.
How long till the guys were back?
A half hour.
Half hour.
Yeah, I'm in there a while.
You were in there.
Yes,
What a negligent
Yes.
bunch of assholes. You could have been a fucking psychopath.
I could have
They
been.
knew they come back to the red wedding. It could have been a bloodbath in there.
What if they come back? We're all having sex.
They come
all
back to the
naked.
brown
Hey,
wedding.
sorry about your wedding.
One
Dave.
more to sodomize.
Now, you know, a lot of
Till
times
dick do us part.
we get
Show title.
we get excited about the prospect of you on the road hooking up.
Yes,
Were any
yeah.
of these girls,
Can I walk you back to your room? Sir?
did
Oh.
they meet the criteria?
No, there was one that I was like, come to the show the next day, but they lived like an hour away, and then I've never spoken to them.
On a
Yeah.
scale of
Yeah.
1 to 10, where was the average amongst them?
Oh, they were like 7s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they
It's
were
a
all,
wedding, so they're all
they,
dolled up.
they were all looking their best.
Yeah.
There was definitely they were all attractive people.
Did you ever read? It was an old comedy book, is a road story book called "I Killed: Stories from the Road."
Mhm.
And what's famous about that book is the very first chapter is written by it's like 10 comedians, 10 stories from the road,
Mhm.
and the very first one is about Patton Oswalt at the Baltimore Comedy Factory.
Oh, really?
It's the Baltimore Comedy Factory outlet.
Hell yeah.
And I make this joke all the time. The Buck a Yuck, that was a thing. 6 comics, $6, Buck a Yuck night. And he tells this story about he's like an MC and he's just trying to get this rowdy crowd. And I mean, you can smell the room for anybody that worked at the
Oh, yeah.
Baltimore Comedy Factory above Burke's. And this guy, he's
Yeah.
like, I want you, hey, at the very end, I want you, you're going to bring me up. You're going to bring me up. He's like, I can't, sir. I'm not allowed. He's like, I'm going to bring me up. He pays him or something. And the guy does a wedding proposal on stage and the lady like turns him down. Like, fuck you.
Oh,
I never want to do this. Well, it reminded me, and I can't remember the comic. It might have been, I might not get this name right, like Carl LeBove.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he
that
was
was Sam
Kinnison's boy.
Kinnison's
Sam
yeah,
Kinnison's guy
Yeah.
tells the story about working in like Snickers in Fort Wayne, Indiana, some C-level room. And same thing, he gets done and they're hanging out in the bar. And this guy's like, hey, we're having an after party. I want you to come perform at the show. What are you getting paid tonight? He's like, I think I'm getting like $300. I'll give you $5. He's like, okay, great.
Yeah.
And he's like, where's the, he's like, it's 20 miles outside of town.
Mm.
And he's like, I can't leave. The headliner's got the car. I'll drive you. And he drives Carl 20 miles out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh no.
And they pull into a trailer park. And this guy, there's no lights on. There's a couple of rampant dogs.
What's the
running
sound
around.
system like?
There isn't one. They go inside of this trailer. And
Who's
it's
going to
just-
bring me up?
It's this guy and it's his wife.
Oh my!
They don't have furniture. They have lawn chairs. And
How
they're
does
just
he have
sitting there.
$500?
Gave him, he says, they paid me. He paid me at the club.
Hey, said best out of his life.
Best. And he sits there for an hour and does stand up for 2 people in a trailer, an hour outside of town with 500 clean in his pocket.
It's a
And
good story.
He just wanted his wife to see the thing that she didn't want to come to that night. She stayed home. That's the party.
it was spite for the wife. He's like,
Yeah.
see,
Look what you missed,
you wanted
bitch.
to, just because we have this
Now we're
beautiful
at
home.
$500. Now we can't
I
pay our
have this
mortgage
beautiful
payment.
home. You want to stay in it?
You should have driven
Yeah.
this house to the club.
Maybe I have a new show title because Brittany says you end up in so many hot situations with cold endings. Come on, man. The universe is throwing opportunities at you at this point. Cold endings. Let's wrap it up with that.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
get that done.
Thank you guys
Very much.
See you next time. Good night.